Good afternoon and welcome to yet another fantastic episode of the Fantasy Football KE. I am your host, Papa D, aka Papa Deno, aka Papa Disaster. You can check me out on social. I'm available on X at I am underscore Papa underscore D, or you can check me out on Instagram through the handle dennis.njenga.m. Anyways, let's get on to it. I have some slight breaking news ahead of the weekend, ahead of Bristol City versus Manchester City. Yeah, ahead of the WSL weekend. We have a couple of breaking news. First of all, from Manchester City, it looks like league's top scorer Khadija Bani Shaw. It looks like her season is over. Yeah. According to reports from Manchester City, it is being reported that Jamaican striker and Manchester City striker, Khadija Bani Shaw, the league top scorer. Remember, she has scored 21 goals. Yeah, she has 21 goals going on into the league, into the running of the WSL, including scoring 2 goals in her last match. Yeah, in her last appearance for Manchester City. Now, what seems like to be her last appearance for Manchester City. Yeah, she in their win over West Ham, she scored 2 goals. She scored a brace to reach to 21 goals in a WSL season, just 1 goal short of Viviana Miedema's record of 22. By the way, it is a joint record held by Viviana Miedema and Aston Villa's Rachel Daly. So Bunny Shot only just needs 1 goal to equate the record. Yeah, but according to sources from Manchester City, and as well as football reporter, WSL football correspondent Catherine Bates, seems like Khadija Bani Shaw's season is over. Yeah, she's apparently suffering from. She's apparently not suffering really. She apparently has a broken foot. Yeah, I think it is one of her metatarsals. So Khadija Bani Shaw is out. She will not feature against Bristol City or against Arsenal or the basically she's not available for the rest of the season. She'll be basically a very big miss. She'll be a huge miss for City, especially going on into the game against Arsenal. Remember, Manchester City are looking towards getting their first WSL title in what, 6 years, 8 years? Yeah, because the last time they won was 8 years ago, 2016. So Manchester City, currently they top the league. Albeit they have played a game more than Chelsea, but they top the league on 49 points. Yeah, and a healthy massive goal difference of 48. Yeah, they have 49 points and 48 points. I mean 48 goal difference. Then Chelsea are coming in second with 46 points. Yeah, and a goal difference of 42. Although Chelsea they have a game in hand, and then finally Arsenal coming in third with 43 points. Sorry, not 43, because Arsenal currently are 9 points behind Manchester City and 6 behind Chelsea. So that one is that. Chelsea, in the meantime, are looking at themselves. They have the return of Millie Bright. Yeah, I remember the skipper has been out since November with a knee injury, and she looks to be back. She was available for selection in the Champions League match against Barcelona, whereby Chelsea won 1-0 away from home. So Chelsea, they've received some injury boosts. The return of Millie Bright is huge for them. That one is pretty much huge. Chelsea, they've had a couple of injury scares, yeah, especially in the defense. Remember, they signed Natalie Bjorn from Everton to be able to cover for the absence of Millie Bright, and then Natalie Bjorn herself got injured. Yeah, she picked up a calf injury and has been ruled out for the last couple of few match days for Chelsea. She has not featured in the squad at all. And Emma Hayes was somewhere between a pickle, because you see most of our defensive options, especially the senior ones, were not available. Remember, Chelsea, they have a couple of big injuries. They've lost Sam Kerr and Maya Fischel, the two strikers. They've lost them to ACL, as well as defender Newen. Yeah. So you see, Chelsea themselves, they had those long term key injury absentees, and then throughout the campaign we've seen Kadisha Buchanan being in and out of the team because of injury, and then as the aforementioned loss of captain Millie Bright through the knee injury. But seems like it's good news for the Blues because now she's back. She's back into full squad training. She was, as I told you, she was in the match squad for the Champions League game. Yeah, as just as an option, in which Chelsea really performed very well. Yeah, because considering this was one of those they had been taking losses before the match. They've been on some sort of a losing streak, not a streak really, but it's so unusual for Chelsea to go like three or four games without a win. So they had already lost the final to Arsenal in the Conti Cup. They had already lost the semi-final to Manchester United in the FA Cup. So you see, they had they had gone from potential quadruple winners to just a significant double. You see, so they sort of were in some sort of not a good form really. Not like they are in a bad form, but they are not winning games basically, and there were games that really mattered. As I told you, those two are very key games. They are there are two titles that Chelsea were looking to claim so that they could hold them in their quadruple dreams. So going on into this match, Chelsea was somewhat the underdogs, considering Barcelona before the game, they had gone on to score 164 goals in this season alone. Barcelona had scored 164 goals. That's pretty mad. Yeah? It's pretty mad considering considering how short the women football season is usually is. Remember, the league started a bit later than the men's league, starting out in October rather than September, as they usually do, so that players could get a couple of few days of rest after the World Cup. Remember, the World Cup had been held in the summer in Australia. Yeah, so around it also clashed with the opening of the league, as well as teams not having chance to have a preseason. You see, so basically, it was it just led to the league starting a little bit later. Although the Spanish league started earlier, like a week earlier, but still, all in all, the women's football season is very short. Yeah. So as you can see, Barcelona had coming into the game, they had 164 goals, and then throughout the Champions League campaign, they had gone on to score an average of 4 goals per game. So that basically tells you Barca were they were in good shape going into the match, and then also they had already just wrapped up the Liga F title. Yeah, so there was really not much playing into it, considering they had also won the Kings Cup. Sorry, not the Kings Cup. The Spanish Super Cup. So, and with them qualifying for the final of the Copa del Rey Femenine. So you see, basically, this is the only game that was very much in their minds. And considering they had won the last two games before this, so the last two ties against Chelsea. So it just shows you they were well in place for the game as compared to Emma Hayes' side. But Chelsea in themselves, as I told you before, we can never rule out Chelsea, as I told you in the other episode. So Chelsea really, they did hold themselves back. They were able to get that vital win, 1-0 away from home, keeping a clean sheet and frustrating Barcelona, because they didn't have a single shot on target throughout the match. They just had the possession, but nothing much was coming from it. No real chances. Hannah Hampton didn't require to be pulled much. That is thanks to the excellent work of Jess Carter and Kadisha Buchanan. They really did a good job. in defense, as well as Erin Cuthbert. Even without talking about the goal, as a DM, she was really in the thick of things there. So you see, Chelsea, for them to receive the big boost of the return of their captain, that will be so huge for them. It will be very very immense. It does help out in the long run, considering these are the penultimate moments. You need those experienced players back. And Millie Bright, she has won all of those WSL titles with Emma Hayes, so she knows how to get on top of the mountain. She knows how to keep it there. So receiving her back in these moments of the season, it is a very very exclusive. No, I mean not exclusive. It is a very very much needed boost. It's a much needed boost for Chelsea, and it might just go on to be the difference. Yeah, especially now with the news that Manchester City's leading striker Khadija Banisho has possibly broken her foot. That is according to a WSL correspondent, Catherine Beatty. Catherine Beatty. I think she works with the Telegraph. I'm not sure about it, but go out into her Twitter handle and just check it. Although you can also see the post on our page as well, because we've reported it. We picked up the news from her handle. Yeah, apparently Manchester City have lost their star striker Khadija Banishoff with a foot injury, and she will not be able to play for the remaining matches in the season. So that means she's out of Bristol City versus Manchester City this weekend, as well as their home tie against Arsenal, in the upcoming weekend. And if you remember last season as well, Arsenal beat Manchester City to the Champions League spot on the penultimate days of the season. And yeah, although they won that one at Meadow Park, but it was around this time, because I remember Arsenal had just been eliminated. No, not eliminated. They had just beaten Bayern Munich in the Champions League, and Katie McCabe had pulled out with a foot injury, because she was in a protective boot after the match. But then again, surprise, surprise, voila, she turns up in the weekend thriller to score the winning goal. The goal that eventually just kept Manchester City out of the Champions League. Basically, it was Arsenal securing the Champions League over Manchester City. Could they do a repeat of that again? Only this time with WSL consequences in mind, in at stake. Because Manchester City, as I told you, they currently lead the WSL, but they have a game in hand over Chelsea. Yeah, and Chelsea's game in hand comes against Spurs. So if Chelsea can be able to get the win, it will be massive, because it will just take them back. And then if Arsenal can sort of hold Manchester City for them, take care of business for them, London to London, London neighbor to London neighbor. Maybe, maybe Chelsea can go all the way and make it their sixth successive title. Sixth successive title. Sorry. Sometimes the language kind of tries to beat us up, but we do try our best. So this is basically how things stand. And Arsenal, they have a way of, for them, there's pretty much not left for them in the league. They are not contending for anything. As I told you, they're 9 points behind Manchester City. I think they have 43. Manchester City have 52. Then Chelsea have 49. So you see, they're 9 points behind Manchester City, 6 points behind Chelsea. So even if they will have to rely on winning their own game against City, and then Chelsea and City again collapsing, which is, at this point of the season, it is not in the cards. It's hardly plausible. So basically, Arsenal here, they have really nothing much to gain. As of last weekend, as of their win against Leicester City, they secured the WSL, the Champions League position in the WSL. Yeah, the last third spot. Their win against Leicester made sure that neither of Manchester United or Liverpool can catch them, even if they went on and lost all of their matches. And both of the two sides went on to win all of their remaining matches in the WSL. So basically, what this does is it really puts Arsenal in the position whereby they can be spoilers. considering they can really decide the tie. Yeah, sort of. Most likely, maybe in Chelsea's favor. But there again, this is football. Anything can happen. Yeah. So going on into that match, Manchester City without Barney Shaw, it could prove very, very, sort of tricky. Because considering Manze, Barney Shaw has scored 21 goals. The closest person is Lauren James with 13 goals. So you see, she's 8 goals away from her. So I'm not saying it is out of Lauren James' capability to get the 8 goals in the remaining matches, but it would also take some sort of very, very big performances and luck on their side. But anyway, that is besides the point. What I wanted to say is Manchester City will definitely miss Khadija Banisho in those remaining matches, especially the one against Arsenal. Because remember, Arsenal are sort of picking momentum. They've not lost since they lost to Chelsea 3-1. They've not lost any other match, and they've gone on to win all of those matches, including beating Chelsea in the Conti Cup final. So they're sort of in a good form and they're scoring lots of goals. Remember, they hit Bristol City 5-0. Then they went on and beat Leicester City 3-0. So in their last 2 matches, they've scored 8 goals. Yeah, with their strikers very, very, very much in form. The likes of Beth Mead, Alessia Russo, they're in scoring mood. So for Manchester City, they've also been unable to keep a clean sheet in minus the game against West Ham. They've been unable to keep a clean sheet in the last 3. So again, there you see it does cause a conundrum. It does pose some questions for Manchester City. But then again, the threat of Manchester City does not just lie in Bunny Shaw. Remember, they have Lauren Hemp. She's been on a great good form, as well as Australia's Mary Fowler. So, and also Jess Park. You cannot ignore the presence of Jess Park. Remember Jess Park. She's been on a phenomenal form. Ever since Jill Road got that ACL injury back in December. So Jess Park has taken the mantle. She's replaced her well, and Manchester City have been able to play to her strengths, as well as getting the results and getting the performances. Yeah, so the threat is not just Barney Shaw, because Manchester City is a well laden team. Remember, they have someone like Chloe Kelly, who currently has not been featuring in the game. She's been coming on as a substitute. Remember, they have someone like Chloe Kelly on their bench. Yeah, despite her lack of form, she's still a very, very good striker. Especially considering she's very versatile. She can play off the wings. I know naturally she's a winger, but she's also can play like a false nine. So it does not leave them without options. So Gareth Taylor's side, they have the options. But the loss of Banisho, even not just away from the game, like the mental aspect of it all. She's sort of their talisman. Yeah, considering the 21 goals and the 4 assists. So basically, she has something like 40%, 50% of their goals. 40%, I'll say 40% there. And that is huge considering Manchester City, they are one of the most scoring teams in the league. They just beat West Ham 5-0, And they've beaten Liverpool 5-0. They've beaten Spurs 5-1, 7-0. They've been scoring so many goals. I think their match against Chelsea, the one they drew 1-1 and the one they won 1-0, and their match against Brighton and Arsenal, the ones whereby they lost 2-1. Those are the least scoring games in their matches so far. So Manchester City, they still have a big opportunity to continue keeping their continue keeping blowing the torch, and keeping pressure against Chelsea. So yeah, yeah. But obviously, the loss of Barney Shaw, it will come as a very very detrimental factor. I just let's see if they can be able to hold themselves well, if they can be able to bounce back, if they can be able to reassert themselves back in the and continue with with their chase. At least let's see if they can try and do it for Bunny Show. Yeah, remember when sort of like the way Frida Manam collapsed in their match against Chelsea, and the way Arsenal went on to sort of do it for her, yeah, getting that win no matter what for her. Let's see if Manchester City can sort of do the same, and then hope because mathematically, not unless it will be decided to the wire and goals will count for it. So Manchester City losing their goal machine, it could prove somewhat. Eh? It could prove the difference. But let's see how they react, because I mean they have a good game in the weekend. They are playing Bristol City. It is a game whereby I'm not really trying to say Bristol City. I'm not putting down Bristol City, but this is a game that is not supposed to be a problem for Manchester City, considering what they are chasing. Because for them it's the league, it's the WSL, and so they have to really make sure it's 3 points, 3 points or bust. So let's see how Manchester City they react in the weekend, and then that one might serve up to grow the momentum, to build the momentum, so that going on into their game against Arsenal, you know, maybe they will have all the morale, and then having just seeing the prize is almost here, especially if Chelsea have some sort of slip up, it will give Manchester City a lot of hopes. So that is basically how things stand in the WSL. In the weekend, as I told you, Arsenal are playing Everton. They'll be hosting Everton at Meadow Park. Remember, Arsenal, they will return to Meadow Park after their last match at Emirates in this season was successful, as they were able to pull in 42,000 in the crowd. Still a good number, still much better, still higher than some of Premier League's attendances. Yeah, so they were able to pull in 42,000, and going on into Meadow Park, it is a 3,000 4,000 capacity. So having been able to get the win at the Emirates, and in a special manner, especially for someone like Beth Mead and Alessia Russo, they've scored a couple of games at the Emirates. Remember, Alessia Russo's debut goal for Arsenal came in at the Emirates against Aston Villa last time out, scoring the winner. What a moment. Imagine getting a debut goal, in front of the Emirates crowd. At a time when Beth Mead was making her return, and then scoring the winner in such a game, basically giving her a win on her return back. And to make it even more special, Beth Mead was the one who assisted her for the goal. It just holds a lot for her. So, and it is in her first season as an Arsenal player. So, it really does help her settle in. She's basically she's arrived kicking. She's got to the ground running. You know. Also, you cannot forget the wins against Chelsea, whereby also she scored two goals, including one Henry-esque kind of goal. So Alessia Russo to be able to close her Emirates chapter for the season with a goal and a very very good performance. It was also it does give her a good boost going on into the rest of the season, as well as Arsenal's Beth Mead. I mean, at the Emirates, she always gets on the score sheets. She does love the Emirates, by the way. To be able to do it, and to help Arsenal secure the Champions League spot, that was a major. It was a major performance for the team. Yeah. So basically, you see Arsenal going on into their match against Everton at Meadow Park. They are going in some sort of high momentum, high boost, high. They're going into the match very very well. They don't have key injury concerns from the match. They were able to come out well. Remember, they have the return of Laura Weinrother. Laura Vane, she's back. As well as they have a couple of. They've already given debut to one of their academy prospects, Katie Rail, as well as the likes of Vivian Leah. They're featuring more and more into the team. So expect going into this match, I expect maybe Jonas will sort of try to give games to these players who are returning. He'll continue giving them the minutes, and maybe probably I'm not saying it is guaranteed, but maybe we just might see another debut from one of those academy kids. Or we'll see one of them now make a full debut. Yeah, So again, I expect to see a lot of Stina and Russo together because it does provide a good momentum. And then also remember Viv is back. Viv is back from injury, and she was also able to come in as a substitute in the match against Leicester City. She came in for Alessia Russo. So I wouldn't be surprised if Arsenal rest one of their regular players in that attack and maybe Viv starts. Or maybe even if she doesn't start, maybe she'll come in earlier in the subs. So yeah, it does look to be an exciting game. Yeah, and let's see. Remember, Catherine Kulmola, she's not eligible to play because she cannot face her parent club, Arsenal. Remember, she's on loan at Everton. Yeah, the Danish international. So that's pretty much it in the Arsenal versus Everton match. Yeah. So that is how things are looking like there. Then in the other games, what do we have? Sorry. Let me let's see how it goes. Again, also remember there's a second leg coming. There's a second leg for the UEFA Champions League. I think it's going to be played in the weekend. Yeah, Chelsea will be hosting Barcelona. Yeah, Chelsea host Barcelona at Stamford Bridge, as well as Olympic Lyonnais going to the Parc des Princes to face PSG. So remember, Chelsea and Lyon hold an early lead. Yeah, Chelsea having won 1-0 at Barcelona, while Lyon having come back from 2 goals down, they went on to win 3-2 at home to PSG. So they both hold a one goal lead. So still a lot to play for. Still a lot to play for, especially considering these are the semi-finals. Anything can happen. Yeah, but all in all, we're going to see a French team in the final. So that one looks good for Ligue One. I mean, Liga di Makema, Liga di Makema, Diakema. I'm not good in it. I'm not good with that pronunciation, but the French league is basically continuing to grow in strength. Having another finalist, that one already builds up to their already good coefficient score in the Women's Champions League. So they are on top there, and with the expansion of the Champions League coming on from next season, so they are definitely going to be getting an extra team, as it was reported. Now in France, the top three are automatic qualifiers. No more going out to play in the rounds. So Paris FC currently occupying the third spot in the league standings behind PSG and Lyon. So they have a chance. They'll have a chance if they are able to maintain that spot. They'll have a chance to play again in the Champions League. You remember Paris FC? They were able to beat last season semi-finalist Arsenal and Wolfsburg in the qualifiers. First, they beat Arsenal in the round one qualifiers before they beat Wolfsburg in the round two qualifiers. So you see, and they were able to hold it in their own. Remember, in the group stages, they were paired up with Chelsea, Real Madrid, and BK Haken, but they were able to beat Real Madrid home and away, and then they were able to get a point from BK and also although they lost to Chelsea in both games, but they proved because remember this is their first season back in a long while, so they were able to show it was not just a fluke. So for them to be able to now be getting consistent chances and opportunities by making it in the top three, they can be able to continue flourishing, and maybe they can just grow to be a force in the games. Yeah. So England's best bet is also now the thing is with England, despite no matter where Chelsea finish, England what they have is the top two spots. The top two spots, as usual, the champions goes straight to the group stages. Then the second, the second spot will now be going also direct into the group stages. Now only the third spot will be playing for the qualifiers. That is basically Arsenal for this season. They'll have to go through another qualifiers, but I think this time it will be from the second round, so that they can so that we can see if they can make it into the Champions League group stages. Yeah, remember this season it is in league format. So the league, it is somewhat 14, no, it is an 18 team league, and then it is divided in two slots. The It is divided in two slots. I mean, into two sides of nine teams each. So they play against each other. You know, four from this they play. No, sorry. It is a 16 team league. It is divided into sections of 8 and 8, and then these four teams they play four teams from the other group, as well as these four teams they play four teams from the other group, and then you play one match against each of your group members, either home or away. So you get four matches at home against teams in your group, and four matches at home away from home against teams in the other group. And then from there on, it's the top 18. Sorry, the top eight, the top of the group, number one and two, they qualified direct into the quarters. Then the other two, the other six people, they enter into a playoff whereby they play home and away, and then they join the others in the quarters, so that we can get four teams that join the others in the quarters. Then from the quarters is just as traditional home and away, all the way to the semis and to the finals. So that is how the new Champions League format will be looking like. And you can see those two teams, the teams that are currently now occupying the third spots in their respective leagues, they have a chance to go for it. Yeah. Then I think Germany, they have also three spots. Yeah, based on the virtue of they have they have a higher coefficient. Remember, for the WSL, England, that is, they don't have much because they only have one previous winner. But while Germany they have two winners. Yeah, including Wolfsburg, who have won it twice consecutively. Yeah, and then they've also won it another one time separately. So they have a slightly higher coefficient than England. And then Italy, they've never had a winner. They've never had a finalist. I think the closest they've reached, the longest they've reached into the competition has been in the quarterfinals. Yeah, I think it's quarterfinals. Yeah. So Italy will be only having they'll be fielding two candidates. Yeah. The winner automatically goes to the group stages, and then the second position will play off in the will start in the playoff, the second round playoff. So let's see how it goes. So that is how the Champions League landscape looks like in the women's division. Let's see how it ends up. Who will book their tickets to Bilbao when Chelsea face Barcelona and PSG face Lyon in the second legs of the Champions League this weekend? Yeah, it's going to be a very very hotly contested affair. It's going to be very very exciting. Yeah. Remember again, in the WSL, Manchester City, as I told you, we have some breaking news. Khadija Bani Shaw is out for the rest of the season after what looks like a broken foot. Yeah. So most likely we'll see a lot of Chloe Kelly returning back into the team and featuring more. Yeah, and maybe she will slot in the attack. Maybe Chelsea, maybe Manchester City will now play with a sort of a 4-4-2. Maybe featuring Chloe Kelly and Lauren Hemp at the top so that they can maintain the likes of Fowler on the wings, and then maybe we can see probably Laila Wahabi. Laila Wahabi maybe might push up as a left wing, as a left winger. Yeah, and then Yui Hasegawa and Jess Park pulling in the midfield, or maybe Laura Coombs can come in at the left wing, but most likely I see someone like Laila Wahabi, considering she's already naturally left-footed and she's an attacking fullback. So then, if paired up with Manchester City's defense, remember they still have a lot in defense. They have Laya Alexandra, as well as Greenwood. Greenwood naturally is a left back, but she's she can play as a left back considering she's a left-footed centre back. So, and even in England, we've seen her pull up in the back three on the left side position, or even sometimes as a left back. She also has a decent amount of pace, and considering when you have someone like Laila Wahabi ahead of you and players like Lauren Hemp and Laura Coombs and Yui Hasegawa around you, they normally fall back. They tend to fall back well, and cover those spaces. They will help her a lot, and then that one will enable Alexandre to play with Alana Kennedy's. Yeah, Australia's Alana Kennedy can pull in now at centre back, and then we can see Kasparich. Yeah, the Dutch international can pull in as a right back. So that one will really help Manchester City. Or then again, they can go for a like for like replacement and just put Chloe Kelly at the top there, and then just maintain the system and the form that is working, the 4-3-3, the 4-2-3-1 sort of. So, and be able to maintain, because the adjustment in the formation will come in as a it might distort a little bit of their play and movements and build up, but let's see how they do it. Let's see how they sort of organize themselves later. And then also, I have some good news for Chelsea fans. Yeah, we have some very, very good news. EAFC, they've released the team of the season cards, and Lauren James is the leading player from the WSL. Yeah, no, sorry, she's among the leading, but she has a very, very great card, Manze. So that one is a definite. She's a definite pick for team of the season. The Lauren James card is out. She's rated 95. Yeah, she has a speed of 96, 97. She has a passing of 98. She has shots of 99. That card is proper bonkers, Manze. It's so mad, yeah. But then again, she's the first WSL player to get her team of the season card. Yeah, from EAFC. The American company has released. The game has been playing, and the WSL. They are great fans of the game. Remember on the FIFA Saturday socials. So the Lauren James card is out. Yeah, team of the season, and she's rated 95. If that is Lauren James, I don't know. I can't wait to see the Bunny Show card, because I mean that girl has been scoring goals and goals and goals galore. So let's see how it comes back. I can also predict something for it will come. It looks like it will be also a good card for Alessia Russo, as well as Lotta Ubenmoy, and also someone like Mary Apps. Mary Apps has been on some good form, especially going into the end of the season. Yeah, yeah. And remember, she's the highest rated goalkeeper in the WSL. So I can see an improvement of her card. Yeah, she's going to be well. She's going to have a good card as well. As well also as Manu. Manu has pulled in a couple of great performances in the last games of the season. Yeah. I think from around February there, she's been on some good form. So she's also going to have a good card as well. And also a return of Beth Mead, she's also properly rated on FIFA. So, and with the performances that she's been having, especially in the last few games, if she can continue throughout the end of the season, she'll have a good card as well. Yeah, I sort of predict Midema's card will not be as good, considering she's been off most of the season through injury. She's been having that kind of season, when you're trying to pick up things. You remember she started it on injured, and then she only came back in December. And then after coming back in December, she had another hiccup, a little bit, a slight setback, another knee, a minor unrelated knee injury that kept her out for 3 weeks. And now she's back again, match fitness and all. Then due to the competition at Arsenal, because at the forefront of the attack, it's a very very competitive Arsenal side. So she was not able to get in back in the team, and then again, I think she got another slight hamstring injury on training, and then now she's finally back. So ideally, it has not been a complete season for Miedema. It's been on and off, with mostly like she's missed almost 70% of the season through injury. So a lot. She's missed a lot of the game. Yeah. So let's see how she gets back. You see the advantage with someone like Mead. Mead came back early, and remember she had been injured earlier before than Mead. She had been injured like a month or, yeah, I remember it was in November. Yeah, a month or 3 weeks. So she was she recovered earlier than Midema. She probably had a month or 8 weeks on her. So, or maybe six weeks on ahead of her. So, and then you see, since mid return, she has not gotten a setback. She's been available throughout. And remember, she's played in the Lionesses. She was able to get fully back into the squad, into the contentionship of the Lionesses squad, and she's performed very well for Lionesses. So it has helped with building the morale and building up her momentum, and getting back into the game. And this has transformed as well into the WSL season, because she scored her seventh goal of the season. And for someone who's been out for especially the first leg of the season, the first 3 months, she's been out. So it's not bad. And then in the process of it all, she's had also like 3 or 4 assists. So basically, she's been involved in. She already has a double figure in the goal involvements for Arsenal in those few opportunities that she's gotten. Yeah. So it does help with the momentum. So slightly we'll see a dropped card for Vivian Amidema. Yeah. But again, this this should not be much of a concern to Arsenal, so long as she is able to finish the season well. If she can finish the season well without any other major hiccups, and then she gets a proper rest for before now she starts playing the preparations. And then with Arsenal, they've already confirmed they'll be playing preseason in Australia. So I think one of those people who need this preseason is Vivian Amidema. She needs it more than most. So if they can be able to keep her fit, keep her healthy, and get her back into the rhythm of the game, she's going to have a proper season next season. Yeah, and then again, I know it's been lingering in the minds of most of you all, especially Arsenal fans. Yeah, they have to sort out her contract issue, because you remember last season, Midemai signed in a short extension. It was rumored to be 1 year, a 1 year extension. So, and she sort of wanted to see how the game is, how Arsenal are approaching. This is like somewhat a second era of some sort. It's like a build up, and it's not just a complete build up. It is a build up because Arsenal has been missing out on in terms of competing for the league for quite a while. They've been hits and miss, and then they are under a new manager. So it's sort of, he started with aplomb. He's shown that he can play a certain kind of game. He can get them, especially in the big games. But a lot of some things are still missing. They're lacking a little bit in some areas. So they've made a couple of signings. So Vivian Amidema was sort of of course the project is what is important. The fans, of course, okay, I know she feels at home and all because she even has a home in London, as well as she has a partner, she has a girlfriend there who happens also to be in the team and an English native. So, I mean, and considering how long she stayed at Arsenal since 2017, that is 7 to 8 years now. So she's sort of settled. But then again, you have to look at the project. So the project was is does it appeal to her in that kind of way? Does it put her in a position to be successful again? Because and then again also the way they're building up for the future. Does the team, because Vivian Amidema is sort of she's a visionary. She's and she's interested in the growth of the game in general for the girls and the women. So looking at how Arsenal are setting up the facilities, the funding of the team, the support of the team from the club, those are the things that matter most to her. So, because the rest will come, the rest can come if you're able to put yourself in that good position. For example, if you have excellent facilities and you have funding and support of the women's team, it does attract a certain caliber of players. And Arsenal, they have the talent. They have the talent for it. They just have to get a little organization and just get back themselves into the equation. And if you look at Arsenal in the greater aspect, as a brand, as a franchise, as a fraternity, as you can see what is happening in the men's game, in the men's team. There's a lot of improvement. And first they had to do all those off the ball improvements and off the pitch things, so before they can be able to do the other things. Remember, before Arsenal were competing, they were already setting up things, upgrading facilities, building in more and more team centers, not just relaxation, recovery and conditioning, increasing more and more stuff. So, and that is those are one of the things that Arsenal have been doing for their women's team as well. Remember now, the women's train in the same place as the men's, so they have access to the best facilities in everything, from the gym to the recovery and conditioning to the setup to the analysis to the game game preparations and all, and also the staff. So those are the things that are going to help you to be able to succeed long term in the women's game, as to be able to keep up with the demands and the growth of the game. As you can see, Arsenal now have been playing at the Emirates for this is the second or third season, and they've been playing there a set number of games. So, and they've been selling out. So those kind of things, they are appealing to players when they're switching clubs. The environment around the club, the health around the club, because football, most of the time, the success of the team, it is, I would say, 30% on the pitch, because all these teams, they have talents, but how do you manage those talents? How do you keep them motivated? How do you keep them in top shape? How do for example, as I've told you about Chelsea and Arsenal's injury concerns, injuries, histories, if you're able to keep these players fit, you're definitely going to succeed, especially when you have a sound manager. Yeah. And if you look into the plans, Arsenal have last season, I think either last season or the beginning of this season, Jonas signed a new contract. Yeah. And his existing contract was not over. It just had like a year or two left on it, but they signed an extension, a 2-year extension. So you see, they are building long term. And for Vivian Amidema, Arsenal get have to get her contract sorted. And I feel this time, rather than signing the short term, they need to look long term, because as you've seen, they've already done a couple of business in the market. They've had some good additions, the likes of Victoria Pelova, the likes of Alessia Russo, the likes of Kyra Koenig Cross, the likes of Emily Fox, and the likes of Laya Kodina. You see, so and also by there even Catherine Kulmola, the 20-year-old Danish international, even though she's currently on loan, and also you see the way they are managing their squad, it does tell you they are building for the long term. Kyra Koenig-Cross is 22 years. Victoria Pelova is 24 years. Emily Fox is 25 years. Yeah. Alessia Russo is 24 years old. So you see, they're building in a young core. And you remember they have the likes of Manam. Manam signed a new contract in the beginning of the season. Yeah. As well as Katie McCabe signed a new contract in the beginning of the season. So you're keeping your core players, keeping your core players. You have Leah Williamson back from injury, and then you have the return of Laura Windreuther, who is also, and I did not say this, but a new contract is in the offing for Lyra Windreuther. She's she's set to sign a new contract. Yeah. So, and I'm hearing it's a long term one, and also she's also 24, 25 years old. So you can see they're building in towards, if they can be able to land in another goalkeeper. Yeah. If they can be able to do a few additions, get in another goalkeeper, but basically up front they're stocked. In fact, they need to offload a couple of people at the front, in the front line, so that they can be able to balance and check out their squad. And also, they need to get on. They need to reach their English quota. Because remember, there's a certain homegrown quota of players that you need, because so that you can fill you can submit your season squad. So Arsenal need to sort themselves out there. So if they can be able to get another DM, so that they, as you can see with Kim Little and Leah Walty, or Wally, there you like to call her. As you can see in those two, they've been Arsenal's best performers in the recent in long for the longest time in that midfield position. They've been holding the fort, but the injury history is sort of, currently Leah Walty is out for the rest of the season, basically with a knee injury. Yeah. And Kim Little has been in and off of the season. Remember, she has only played 5 games in the league, so she's been in and out with injury. Yeah. So if they can be able to get in another DM, so that they can be able to challenge now for all those 4 titles. And remember, Arsenal will be starting the season earlier than most, because they'll be playing those Champions League playoffs. So if they can be able to get another DM, and then they sort out their things up front. Yeah. Currently, I don't think they need to add anyone up front. They just need to get another left back. Yeah. I think they need to get another left back and probably another DM. And then definitely a goalkeeper. Though the goalkeeper is a higher priority at the moment, because, as I told you, and as I've been telling you throughout the other episodes, Manu Zinsberger, you cannot rely for her going as the only goalkeeper going on into the end of the season. And Sabrina D'Angelo has not challenged enough, based on the appearances and the games that Jonas has handed to her. She has not really challenged for that spot enough. So Arsenal need another goalkeeper, preferably a younger goalkeeper. And if possible, it will be good if they go for an English goalkeeper, so that it can also help with reaching their quota, their homegrown quota. But they just need a good goalkeeper, a younger goalkeeper who will keep Manu on her toes. We've seen in the last few games that Manu is still class, so she needs someone to be keeping her on those toes like that, and challenge her for the sport, and really, really give her a run for her money. So if they can be able to get another goalkeeper and then sort out Viv's contract issue, as well as get that DM. A left back is not mostly a priority, but it will be good to also add another left back. But especially if you can be able to get a younger one, or a vastly experienced one. I heard that they were in for the likes of Kashowi, but I don't think so because he doesn't. She's 27 years old, and I don't think she'll be leaving PSG at this moment, especially considering if they can be able to, even if they just exit in the semi final, PSG are going from strength to strength. Yeah, so let's see. Anyways, that is how the WSL landscape looks like, and it seems like we are in for a good ending. We are in for a good ending, definitely. Remember, it's 18 games played for Chelsea and Spurs, while Arsenal, Manchester City, and the rest have played 19 games. So basically, 3 to 4 games remaining so that we can close out the season. And then the FA Cup final, it is coming. We have an incoming FA Cup final. Manchester United versus Tottenham Hotspurs. And yeah, on the weekend we were treated out to to what looked like a, a preview, a taste. We were given a taste of how the FA Cup final will be. Spurs and Manchester United went out to a 2-2 draw, with Maya Leticia scoring deep in stoppage time to rescue Manchester United from what would have been an embarrassing loss at home to Spurs. Because remember, Manchester United took the lead and then they were pegged back in the second half. In the first half, just at the end of the first half, conceding two quick fire goals. So it will have been very embarrassing for them to lose out like that. Yeah. So Maya Letis there sparing sparing Manchester United blemishes at home. Remember they were playing at the LSV, so that one is also, so it's also vital. So Manchester United will be playing Tottenham Hotspurs in the final. Remember, this is Tottenham Hotspurs' first time to qualify for any final, major cup or not, and it is Manchester United first time, second time to go back in Wembley. They remember they lost the final last season out to Chelsea, but they did get their revenge when they eliminated Chelsea in the semi-final. So Manchester United are looking for a first major title. We don't count the championship because when you enter into the big girls area, that is the WSL scope, there are only 3 major titles: the FA Cup, the WSL, and the Conti Cup. So that is how things are. So Manchester United are looking for their first major title win when they face Tottenham Hotspurs in the final of the Adobe Women's FA Cup. So will it be another hotly contested tight affair? Will it end in a draw, or will we have a direct winner? Can Manchester United really get the momentum back, or will Spurs continue and just hope not to bottle it this time in the grand stage of them all? So that is how things look like in the WSL. That is how the scope looks like. Who will join Arsenal in getting the season's silverware, their name on the season's silverware? Remember, Arsenal already won the Conti Cup, and it basically was the only title that Arsenal had a chance to at that time of the season. Yeah, after their collapse in the WSL chase and their exit from the FA Cup at the hands of Manchester City. So let's see. Can Manchester City hold themselves? Can they usurp Chelsea for the title? We'll see. And it begins in the weekend. Yeah, it begins this weekend. Let's see how they fare out against Bristol City. Yeah. In the meantime, keep out on the lookout. Be on the lookout for us. Continue listening to us. Yeah, we are available as usual on Spotify. We are also available on Apple Music and Podcast as Overcast and Pocket Cast. And again, you can also listen to us on YouTube. Yeah, YouTube Music. And just also be sure to keep with us on the Amazon Music and Podcast. Yeah, we are available on every other platform that you get your podcast provided. Fantasy football fantasy football KE. Sorry there. I'm having a choke. Yeah, choking a little bit. Mm. So reach to us out on socials as well. Check out our Instagram page, check out our stories. We have a couple of tidbit information regarding the games of the weekend coming up in the weekend. We have the build up to the Bristol City versus Manchester City game. We have the build up to the Arsenal and Everton games. We have the build up to the weekend matches. Check out our stories, check out our reels there. Yeah, be sure to keep with us further on Instagram and Twitter. As for Twitter, again, you also have a fantasy WSL squad whereby we give you the tips. You have a thread there where we give you the tips and games for the weekend, who to go for, who to captain, and what sort of chips to play. Yeah, for instance, this weekend we are going to play with the triple. No, no, not the triple captain. That one we'll keep it for the double game week. Double game week that is coming on game week 21. Yeah, the double game week is coming on game week 21. So that one we are going to give you all the tips on how to use all your chips. Yeah, so check out our socials. Yeah, Instagram and X, aka Twitter. We are fantasy underscore footy ke. Just hit the button, hit the follow button, and hit that notification bell ringing so that you can get all the latest updates, that we shared for you. Yeah, in the meantime, get to listening and give us a feedback of your opinion. Who do you think is going to lift the WSL come the end of the season? Who do you think is going to walk away with the FA Cup? Yeah, and as well the big one in the Champions League. Are Chelsea going to make it a first Champions League title for the Blues in the women's division, or are we going to see nine-time champions Lyon, eight-time champions Lyon make it their ninth title? Again, remember, also Barcelona can still defend the title as well. They are the reigning champions. Or then again, are we going to see a new champion in PSG? Still a lot of exciting times to come. So be sure to keep it fantasy footy KE, and we are going to be keeping you up to date with everything as they happen in the moment. Yeah. So it's been a fantastic ride. It's been a great time to be with you guys. And as usual, I just want to remind you people, don't play yourself, protect your tool. Yeah, don't play yourself, protect your tool. This has been the Fantasy Football KE. I've been your host, Papa D, aka Papa Deno, aka Papa Disaster. And I'm out. Adios, guys. Have a fantastic weekend. Yeah.